Good morning, everybody. Well, last night I had made a video that first video that I've made in a few years, and I explains all that when I wore my Igor jersey celebrating the Rangers off to the Eastern Conference Finals. Today I am making a video about my New York Knickerbockers. Do you see? I'm getting ready for the for tonight. I got my rocking my Jalen Brunson jersey. This is hopefully going to be another fun night. Is this as stressful a game six as last night was? I don't think it is. Just because that Rangers series was trending in the wrong direction before Kreider reversed it in the third period, which I had, I had explained, my thoughts behind and the rationale behind the craziness that was going on and the doubt that was creeping in the head before the third period just kind of erased all that. So, this one, before game five, actually, I was feeling the same because the Knicks got absolutely smoked in the Indiana in game four. Smoked. Game three could have gone either way, but what's his name? Is it Nesmith? The pacer, the guy that played almost the whole game, and somehow he makes a miraculous 31-foot three pointer as the dagger that broke the Knicks' chances to go up a commanding 3-0. But I was like, well, Indiana's plays really well at home. They're not as good on the road. Another one, just like the Ranger game four, I chalked that one up, and I said, let's see how they respond game four. Game four, oh man. I know Jalen's been battling the foot injury. I know that obviously the Knicks haven't had Randall since January, and then we OG Anunoby, who's love him, but the guy's made of glass, as is Mitchell Robinson. Boyan Bogdanovich in game four of the Philadelphia 76er series. They're a dirty team. Don't even get me started on the Sixers, but I'm glad we sent them packing. Bogdanovich hurts his foot. He's out the rest. He's out the rest of the playoffs. So we're already shorthanded, but the Knicks were up 2-0. They found a way just because Jalen Brunson, who my heart sank when he was heading in the locker room with the GM of the team and his father. I'm like, this is not good. We can't afford this. With the Magic here, what's going on here? This is supposed to be our time. This is supposed to be '94, and which I know with '94 the Rangers won the cup. The Knicks got all the way to the possible end against the Houston Rockets. But the thing of it is that you felt so good, and then most of that second game in the first half, we're thinking, oh boy, what's going on there? And then without Jalen Brunson, the Knicks just didn't have much of a chance to win. They just didn't have it. But then all of a sudden, Jalen Brunson does his Willis Reed. Comes out second half, says he's good to go. The foot injury, and then the crowd was just. We were trying to find out what in the world was going on. So, but he comes back and he absolutely inspires, wills the team to victory. And I don't know, because he was playing hurt, but he had the burst in his step because of the adrenaline, and he was feeding off the Garden crowd, which MSG was rocking. And I mean, of course, you have the celebrities. So you have Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, Spike Lee, Jason Bateman, Tracy Morgan, and I think the Knicks lead the NBA for with regards to celebrity fans. So, but anyways, game two, after Brunson comes back on the court, um, what this man does for this organization and what he does for the sport. I mean, to anybody who says the NBA players have no heart, I have one answer for you. I have one response for you. Jalen Brunson. And then I can continue with Dante DiVincenzo. I can continue with Isaiah Hartenstein. I can continue with Josh Hart. I could continue. I can continue with basically anybody who wears this uniform. And they won me back. They for a while there, the Knicks, and even the Carmelo Anthony years. I never felt that they had the same heart. No pun intended, because Josh Hart's on the team. Something about this Knick team, it's just sucking me in. And Game 3 happened. I was at a bar. I was out singing karaoke, and of course I was glued to the TV. And my buddy's like, "Why aren't you joining us?" And I'm like, "Well, playoffs. What do you want? It's a Knicks. It's a playoffs. I don't really get this chance that much." Double dose action. I mean, this is new for me. I got two sports. I got the Rangers. I got the Knicks. And as Billy Joel said, these are the times to remember, because it will not last forever. Quote the great Billy Joel. And another Billy Joel I'll quote is, "I go to extremes, too high or too low. There ain't no be in between." I can describe that as my fanaticism. I know when they're winning, I'm here, but maybe I should go down a little bit here. But I am always up here when they lose. I should be here. Oh, I'm way down, as anybody will say. Just because I know of all, as a fan, you don't get chances very often. You just don't. And when you see it, unless you're a Yankee fan, a Cowboy fan, well, Cowboys, they've been bad in the playoffs lately. Let's see, when Brady was a Patriot, and of course the Yankees and the Lakers, and certain teams where no matter what, you're guaranteed at least a playoff appearance pretty much every year. Most fans can't say that, but and the Knicks, like I said, before the Brunson years, before the Brunson era, Thibodeau era, they've been a joke. But anyways, I just want to focus on this series, with the Pacers. Game 3, it's a bad shot. We went cold in the fourth quarter, but I'm like, okay, Indiana. It was a home game for Indiana. They were probably going to get that one. And then Game 4 came along, and I'm just like, what is this? I mean, the foot injury was catching up to Brunson. And we didn't have Anunoby, and Hartenstein hurts his shoulder. I'm like, how do we even have enough healthy bodies to finish this series? I mean, this is crazy. Alec Burks was going to have to start playing, and they're going to have to. There were some of these other guys. Game 4 was just. I didn't even watch the second half. I'm like, this is abysmal. The tide is really turning, but I'm going to end the negativity right there, because Game 5 was the pivotal one here. And I know the Knicks got to win one more. Jalen Brunson, man. I don't know if it was, again, the adrenaline, the MSG crowd, or really his foot is feeling a lot better. That step, the burst, the quickness, the athleticism, you can't stop this guy. And he decided in front of my home fans, I'm not going to lose this game. We're not going to lose this game. You got DiVincenzo going into Miles Turner saying, "What are you, tough? You think you're tough? F you." So the heart, the attitude, the grit that I thought we had lost in Game 4, again, like the Rangers, pulls me right back, and it quells any doubt, because the Knicks smoked the daylights out of the Pacers in Game 5. It was a thing of beauty to watch. And we are shorthanded. First of all, Indiana's got the deeper team. Indiana's pretty healthy, while Halliburton, which, by the way, he didn't even show up in Game 5. But you've got a deep Indiana Pacers team that can score at will, and and not make things easy, because they, unlike the Sixers, they're about fast paced, no pun intended. Shooting the ball and try to keep up with us. Well, in Game 5, the Knicks took it to them. and they turned the game into physicality, and that's not who the Pacers are. When you win in the playoffs, you take away your opponent's identity. So game five was, hopefully, we know when we look back on this, we can say it was a turntable, the game that turned the tides in favor of the New York Knicks. The MSG crowd was absolutely on fire, and I loved it. I loved it. And I just love what Jalen Brunson has done for the team, putting the team on his back, and then his fellow Nova boys Hart and DiVincenzo followed. So it was a thing of beauty to watch. The game five, the Knicks putting a stranglehold on it. But previewing tonight, game six, do I think the Knicks can win? I do. Will they? I don't know. Again, we're in their building, and Indiana hasn't lost in their building yet this postseason. They played a Milwaukee Bucks team that didn't have Giannis, and then later on didn't have Lillard. But still, they were only able to win one on the road, but because of the shorthanded Bucks, Pacers took advantage of home court. Well, we're shorthanded, but luckily we have a number 11 who was able to will his way, to a game pivotal game five win. And now we're up 3-2 as opposed to being down 3-2 going into their building. So, and we have the ace in our back pocket, the game seven, which, I mean, I'd prefer not to use. But game six, man, I think if the Knicks were almost there in game three, I really don't want to see the officiating favor the Pacers, which the officiating tends to favor the home crowds, not always. Call a fair game, call a clean game. The officiating's been very suspect, but when is it not suspect in any sport, really? So just wanted to say game six. I think if DiVincenzo hits his shots, McBride hits his shots, Brunson has the burst in his step. Hartenstein who was a beast on the boards in game five. If he can repeat that in game six, we'll be in good shape. It'll be close. You just gotta. Indiana's probably not going to shoot as rocket hot as they did the first half of game four. I mean, maybe, but that was just crazy how everything was going in. It was like the Sixers' third quarter in the game three in that series, which the Knicks never played badly. And the game four was the first time the Knicks were ever really done cooked, as Paul Pierce and Draymond Green would want to say. But going forward, this Knicks team, with the momentum that they had gained from game five, and the fact that they were so close, game four you just chalk it up, but they were so close, and they really could have won and probably should have won game three. Do I think the Knicks are the better team despite being shorthanded? Yeah, I do. I know Pascal Siakam is breathing a sigh of relief that he doesn't have Anunoby guarding him. He's got he's got Precious Achiuwa, Deuce McBride, at times, and I'll talk more in detail after game six. But it's funny that this it has been a will of strength versus strength with the Indiana Pacers. How quickly they move the ball, how quickly they score, and with the Knicks, it's grit and wear you down, and we're never out of a game despite the shorthanded. We never say we're out. We never use that as an excuse. And I give Coach Tibbs and the Nova boys a lot of credit for that. I actually have a good friend of mine who lives out in Dallas, but he grew up in Indiana. I visited him. He's a very talented guy. He sings opera. Very nice guy too. Him and his wife, very very good people. Great people. Great company. Text him a lot. He's a big Pacer fan, and we have respect for one another. We there's no trash talking. There's no, I mean, obviously when we're both diehards, so when the Knicks are playing bad, I'm like, hey, you guys got this. And when the Pacers are playing bad, he's like, you got this. So it's cool. We've been texting back and forth throughout the series. And I said to him, I think you guys are going to be ready for game six. I texted him that. And I do expect that Indiana is is going to make this one a challenge, just like last night the Hurricanes made a challenge for the Rangers, who somehow, some way, rose beyond all doubt and defeated the Carolina Hurricanes to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, my buddy who is like I say, he lives in Dallas. Like I said, very talented musician. Would love to hear him sing someday. Again, if I ever get the opportunity. I said, I told him, I said, Game 6. I mean, we knew. I said, I can't call the series over with yet, just because I know how Indiana is, and I also respect the fact that, like me, he supported his locals because he grew up in Indianapolis. So of course, Colts and Pacers. But at the same time, I always had to let him know. I said I don't like Reggie Miller, and but we both agreed that the Hicks versus Knicks thing is a thing again, as evidenced by some of the plays in this series. But yeah, no, we'll see what happens tonight with Game 6. I think the Knicks have a chance to close this out, and if we don't, we do have the ace in our hole, and I do think Game 7. The Knicks have been absolutely the better team. The home team has won every game this series, but with that being said, if the Knicks play the way they did Game 3 consistently, and if they don't get hit with a fluky shot at the end, they could win this game, and we may not have to worry about a Game 7. But again, Indiana will be ready. I know Indiana has not lost yet in the playoffs on their home court. So they're a young team. They're gonna come out with a lot of intensity. But Coach Tibbs and the Nova boys and Hartenstein and should be ready for it. So Game 6, I'll find out tomorrow if I can take a rest for a few days, or if I have to get ready for a Game 7. So at Madison Square Garden, but we'll find out. I think it's possible the Knicks wrap this up, but I also think it's possible. I mean, it's sports. You don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see what the Knicks have for us tonight. We'll see how Indiana comes out in front of their fans and how hungry they are. We'll go from there. So have a good day, everybody. All right, take care.